Hello there, thanks for tuning in once again. In today's tutorial I'm going to tie up a wet fly pattern again this time. And this pattern here, I read up on it and it says it's a Miller pattern, and it says that it's very effective at dusk and nighttime fishing. So I do a lot of nighttime fishing, so I'll tie some of these up for myself as well. And I figured you might like to see this guy tied up. So I'm going to get him out of the vise, fresh hook in, and get started here. The hook is a Mustad 3399 standard wet fly hook, and I'm putting him on a size 10 here, so we'll get that locked in here. Okay, and I'm just using white thread UTC 70 denier, and like always we'll get a thread base down first here on the shank. And I'm going to wrap that back just about to the bend here. Snip off that tag end. And I'm going to come back to just about in front of the barb here. Right about there. Now, there's a tinsel tag on this guy, and it's flat silver tinsel. So I have a piece of extra small mylar tinsel here, and I want the silver side to show, so I'm going to tie that underneath there with the silver side facing out, or facing against the shank eye rather. Secure that down with a couple wraps, and I'm going to take 5 wraps down the bend and 5 back up again. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we'll just reverse the angle on that and come up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm going to back my thread back off once again, catch that underneath. Couple snug wraps there, just like so. Okay, now I'm going to come in and snip that off. Okay, just bind those ends down a little bit. Okay, next is the tail. But before I attach that tail, I'm going to put a little dab of head spin on that tinsel tag there just to make it durable so it stays on longer. Put a little drop there and spread it around. There we go. Okay, now ready for the tail, and the tail is simply some red hackle fibers. I just got a piece of a saddle hackle here, and I'll strip some of these off. And it has a pretty sparse tail on it, not too thick of a tail on this guy. So I'm going to tie him in here, boot hook shank length, like always here. Okay, catch that in, just like so. Come back on that a ways. Just like so here. Okay, there's our tail. Now, okay, the rib on this guy is fine silver wire. And I have a piece here ready to tie in. We'll catch that in on the first side of the hook there. Okay, just like so. Okay, now what I'm going to do is wrap all that forward, wrap it down, all that excess. Building an underbase as I go for the floss. Okay, now stick that in the material clip. Now I have one strand of uni floss here in white. I'm going to catch that guy in here underneath the shank like so. Pull that to the length I want it. Whoops, pulled a little too much there. Catch that in once again here. Okay, Okay, now pull that again. There we go. And we're going to wrap that back all the way to in front of our tail. Okay, now I'm going to build a thread underbase here for that floss, and what I want to try to achieve is I want it a little thicker in the middle than I do on the both ends. So I'm just going to make several thread wraps here just to achieve that. A little thicker in the middle, sort of making it a what you call cigar shape, I guess. Just like so. And we'll come down. Okay, that should be fine. Alrighty, now take your floss and we're going to wrap that here. Just going to try to flatten it out. That first wrap right in front of that tail. Just like so. Okay. And I like to slightly overlap those. I'm just going to back that off because that first wrap didn't go right where I want it. So I'm going to try that again here. I think that should be a little better that time around. Okay, check that. That looks better. Okay, let's begin to wrap the floss body up here. Whoops. Whoa, easy now. Okay. And you can see how it's a little thicker there in the middle and then it tapers down. That's the look I was after there. Okay, now we're just going to tie this off underneath. A couple wraps forward and in front. And I'll snip that tag off. Alrighty. Now we'll wrap our rib here. And I like to get about 5 or 6 turns on this for the rib. So there's one. Yeah, we'll get about 5 on this guy, I figure. Okay, I don't like the way that's going either. One thing about fly tying, if you don't like the way things are going, you can always back up and restart once again. Okay, that's looking better there. Okay, and one more wrap. I'll tie this wire off, just like so here. Okay, wrap that towards the front there. And I'm just going to helicopter that off. Okay. Alrighty, a couple wraps there to secure that down good. And our next step is to attach our hackle. And our hackle is some white hen hackle. And I have some prepared here. Or one prepared. I have the feather all prepared and the tip exposed. I'm going to tie it in by the tip like I always do. Okay. And catch that underneath there, just like so. Fold that back a couple wraps, and I'll come in easy like and snip that tip out of there. Okay, a couple more wraps to secure that, and I got a few errant fibers there I want to snip out. Okay. Now we're ready to attach, or excuse me, wrap the hackle. So I'll bring my hackle pliers in, attach these guys here, and we'll begin to wrap this guy up. Okay, and you get about 3 wraps usually. Okay, come down around, and we'll tie that stem off underneath. Couple wraps, nice and snug. Give it one more there. Release the pliers. Okay, wrap that. Then I'm going to wrap back on that stem as well. Couple wraps. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to reach in here and give it a little pull like so. Now, what I want to do is pull all these hackle fibers back and down to form more or less a beard on the fly. So I'm just going to stroke those fibers down with my thumb and forefinger here. Then what you do is just wrap back to about where you want to attach your wing. Just keep pulling them down, just like so. Okay, we're almost there to where I want to be. Okay, that looks good. Now, what I'm going to do next is just, okay, I got a couple fibers there. Don't want those ones on top because I want a clear base for attach the wings. So I'm just going to pull those two out. Alrighty, that looks good right there. That's fine. Okay, now the wings, I got two duck quill segments, one from the right and one from the left quill. Just going to get those lined up here, make sure they're even. Okay, and we'll bring those in, and those are about almost hook gap in width, just about. That's how I measure them out. And we want them to come back just past the bendaways on this one. And okay, another little trick for setting these wings is when you bring your thread up around, just let go of the bobbin and grab the butt ends too, and just lift up on that. And when you come up around, pull up on the thread, straight up, then down once again. Have a look at it. That looks great. Right on top. A couple more securing wraps. And that wing should look like that, right on top, in sort of a tent shape. Tent style is how you have it. Is sort of tent shape. Okay, next thing we'll do is keep a hold of that wing and come in and snip off the excess here. Just like so. Okay, now let's have a look at it there. Alrighty, now I'm just going to put a little drop of cement on those wing butts there before I form the head on this guy. Just a little drop, if I can get it to come out. There we go. Okay, so we'll let that soak in for a second here. Alrighty, now what I'm going to do is just cord my thread up a little bit here, and I'm going to move to the front of the eye and then wrap back over top of those butt ends there to form the head, just like so. And this one has a white head on it, so I'm not going to color the thread black on this one. Okay. Just about a done deal here. All we got left here now is to whip finish this guy, and he's done. So bring in my whip finisher. Get about a 4 or 5 turn whip finish on him. Draw that in. Snug it down nice and tight there. And come in and snip off the excess. Okie dokie. Okay. Last step is to bring in my Solares bone dry. Secure those thread wraps down good with that. So I'll put a thin coat around the head of this guy. Just like so here. All the way around. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm just going to make sure I don't have any in the eye of the hook before I cure this guy up here. Okay, that looks pretty good there. Let's bring my light in and cure him up real quick. Okay. Well, there he is, folks. Another size 10 miller. So, I want to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if so, and you'd like to see more in the future, just snap on that subscribe button. I appreciate that a lot. And until next time, happy tying out there. Shall see you again soon. And so long for now, folks.